Hello, my name is Eric A. Kidwell, and I'm the Title IX coordinator for Huntington College in Montgomery, Alabama, where I also serve as a professor and the director of the library. Before entering Title IX work, I think my knowledge was pretty standard around the country in that I knew Title IX had to do with sex-based equality in education and was most often discussed within the context of school athletics. I seem to be something of a rarity in the Title IX community, in that there apparently are very few librarians serving as their school's Title IX coordinators. But actually, I found it to be a good match because we share, the two fields share a basic philosophy of equity and inclusion. In the library field, a basic tenet is equal access to information, and we want everybody to be reflected and represented in our collections and services. I know certainly at my college, I want, when somebody comes into the library, I want them to feel seen and validated. I've always considered myself to be somebody with a pretty heightened sense of social justice. So when I talk with students and faculty and staff on campus about Title IX and about our policy and our processes, I make a point of stating that ultimately, when I have a complaint, my concern is that I have a person who has stated that they are the recipient of unwelcome behavior from that person over there. So we really focus on the personhood as opposed to sex or gender, or sexual orientation, or gender identity. So why did Title IX matter back in 1972, and why does it still matter today? I would say the obvious answer is we have a history of sex and gender-based inequality in this country, as well as around the world. And while we've made great strides, we still have work to do. When my mother entered college in the 1950s, she was not allowed to major in her chosen field, which was business administration. The university just didn't allow women in that program. Instead, she had to be a secretarial science major, even though a lot of the courses she took were the same as those that the men took who were business administration majors. My mother always had a good head for business, as they say, and I often wonder how her life may have been different if she could have pursued her original goal. My grandfather was a contractor with 2 daughters, no sons. He never considered bringing my mother into his business until much later on, after my mother was full grown, had her own family. I think in his older age, he reflected back upon that and kind of questioned why he didn't do that. As someone in his 60s, I well remember a time where society had much more stringent ideas about what men and women could do and should be. When I was growing up, a male elementary school teacher or a male nurse was unheard of. In my elementary school, the only male was the principal. Female doctors, female attorneys were a rarity and an oddity in some people's eyes. I've known since about the age of 7 I wanted to be a librarian, but in school, whenever we would get an assignment to talk about what career we wanted to go into, I always picked something that was deemed more masculine. I just really didn't want to deal with the snide remarks and the looks that I would get from other students, and not just the boys, but the girls as well. So again, I think we made some great strides. I think we have a lot of progress still to work toward, particularly when you consider issues of ethnicity, gender identity, and sexual orientation. And I do find myself wondering, what will we be talking about on the occasion of the 100th anniversary of Title IX? Thank you.